Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, we will be investigating SCP-2846, better known as the Squid and the Sailor.
Wind storm rocks a merchant ship back and forth. Huge waves roll over the deck and threaten to capsize the vessel. A merchant sailor grips the railing, trying with all his might not to be thrown overboard. With a loud twang, a cable snaps loose. A hand suddenly grabs his shoulder. He turns around with a fright to see that it's one of his shipmates. He points towards the bow of the ship and yells over the roar of the storm that they need to try and repair it. The two men make their way to the front of the ship, and the sailor starts working to fix the broken cable.
Okay, so far so good.
His mate is no longer working. He's staring
Why?
straight past him, and there's fear in his eyes.
Oh no.
The sailor turns around to see a massive tentacle sticking out of the sea. The huge appendage is mind-boggling in its size. He can only stand there, marveling at it, until it begins violently smashing against the deck. The sailor dives out of the way just before the tentacle crashes down right where he was standing, where his crewmate was still locked in fear. The ship is in chaos as more tentacles appear and slam the deck over and over. One cracks the deck right next to him, sending him flying.
Oh, he's gone.
He comes to moments later in a wreckage pile. Nothing else has changed, though. Whatever this monster is, it's not stopping its assault on the ship. The sailor stands up and picks up a sharpened piece of wood from the pile.
What are you going to do with that?
He runs over to the nearest tentacle and thrusts the
That is a
stick
horrible
into its flesh.
idea.
There's a mighty roar from the sea.
Oh, did it
and the
actually
tentacles
work?
Stop their onslaught. They go limp before sliding into the
What?
sea. The sailor looks around at the carnage that's been wrought. Dead bodies and debris litter the deck. He moves to check on his crewmates, when right in front of him, bursting from the sea, is the head of the biggest squid he has ever seen.
That is Cthulhu.
A massive beast that must be 1,000 meters long. Whatever he had seen before of this creature was truly just the tip of the iceberg. With another roar, the creature lifts up out of the water and wraps its arms around the ship. The sailor only has time to duck down and close his eyes before the entire ship is pulled down beneath the waves.
Wow.
With a gasp, the sailor breaks
he made
the
it out.
surface, screaming and gulping for air. He's alone now.
What is he
treading
leaning
water in
on?
the middle
Oh,
of the
he's just
ocean
in the middle
during
of the
storm.
ocean.
But not for long. The squid
Why not?
reappears,
What?
its head slowly rising out of the water just in front of
Can
him.
it see him?
Its head, the size of a house, has two giant, uncaring black eyes that seem to both see him and not. It extends a tentacle toward him as it leans back in the water, exposing its huge beaked mouth. It wraps its powerful arms around him and starts to pull him towards it.
Oh, that is so scary.
There's an explosion.
Is it the
squid has been
SCP
struck
Foundation?
by something. Both the sailor and the creature turn to see the most incredible thing. A battleship is coming towards them, slowly rising out of the ocean as if it were somehow submerged.
Okay, that has to be from the SCP Foundation.
The squid drops him and starts heading towards the ship. This is going to be a battle for the ages. While this sailor had no idea what he was witnessing, the SCP Foundation was all too familiar.
Of course they
This was
were.
yet another incident of SCP-2846, also known as the Squid and the Sailor. But first, a quick personal request from me. I need your help to spread the word about the lesser-known anomalies in the SCP Foundation's archives. The best thing you can do to help me is subscribe, turn on notifications, and then go tell your friends to do the same.
Listen to
This is a
Dr.
huge
Bob.
help
He knows
and will
best.
Let me bring you more and more SCP anomalies. Now back to our file. SCP-2846 is the name given to a set of phenomena that occur in the Gulf Atlantic region. These phenomena consist of interactions between two entities, known as SCP-2846-A and SCP-2846-B. 2846-A is a gigantic, aquatic creature that resembles a cephalopod, though no similar organism has been discovered that is even close to approaching its size.
Well, yeah.
With estimates placing 2846-A at being at least 950 meters in length.
That is thousands of feet
creature
long.
appears in areas of deep water during storms and will attack civilian vessels, especially cruise ships and merchant vessels. These attacks are sporadic and follow no known patterns other than that they take place during inclement weather.
Okay.
They are sudden and without warning, and will nearly always result in the complete destruction of the targeted vessel if they're not intercepted. Attempting to stop these attacks is SCP-2846-B, a large seafaring vessel that in its current form resembles a Pennsylvania-class super dreadnought battleship.
Okay.
Though it appears hazy in photos and videos, as if translucent. And eyewitness
So it's not
observers
real?
have described the ship as looking vaporous. Just like
So it's not-
SCP-2846-A, this ship will appear from deep water, surfacing near the site of a 2846-A event. The vessel will fire on the creature, drawing its attention, and the two will then engage in a heated battle.
That's
the two will
crazy.
continue fighting until SCP-2846-A is rendered immobile or completely incapacitated, after which it will sink down into the sea. Following its victory, the ship too will then submerge.
So the
and
ship,
disappear beneath
from
the
what I'm
waves.
hearing, never loses.
SCP-2846-A
That's-
is believed to have
interesting.
existed for thousands of years, and maybe even older than that. The creature's existence was first recorded in an Icelandic saga from the 13th century, but the Foundation's first documented sighting came in 1905, when an agent working for the Foundation, one Admiral Reginald von Allen, spotted the creature surfacing with a whale wrapped effortlessly in its tentacles.
It
Soon
makes the
after
whale
spotting
look
it,
like a
ship
goldfish.
of the line surfaced as well to do
Hold
battle
on.
with the creature. The Admiral tried to signal the crew that he could see on the deck of the ship, but the vessel descended back below the surface before any communication could take place. In 1935, the mysterious ship appeared again, near the SCPS Hildegard, and this time, the anomalous vessel was the one to initiate communication. Some
Really?
of the crew of the ship, designated as SCP-2846-B1 through B915,
Oh, wow, they have
came aboard the
900
Foundation
people?
ship and engaged in a conversation with Captain Levi Hansen. SCP-2846-B1 identified himself as David Thomas Jones of the Royal Navy and went on to explain that their ship had been sunk by a monster resembling SCP-2846-A over 300 years in the past.
So they're
He
all
described
ghosts.
how after sinking into the darkness of the sea,
Huh.
he awoke on a mysterious shore where he met with a woman who referred to herself as Calypso, goddess of the sea. She
Goddess
explained
of
how
the
she had
sea?
sealed the leviathans that prowled the depths of the ocean in a pit.
Oh, but
that
one
over
escaped.
Time, the seal she had placed on it had begun to weaken.
Oh,
A titan
interesting.
had escaped and taken the form of the most deadly creature in the sea, the Kraken.
So there's more than just
Calypso feared
one.
that the creature would attempt to further destroy the seal and release its monstrous brethren, a disaster that would result in the end of all human life.
Sounds like
She
it,
requested
yes.
that Jones pursue the creature along with his crew for as long as needed, and in return, they would be granted immortality. Jones
Oh.
agreed, and his endless battle against the anomaly began that day. The reason he had now come aboard a Foundation ship was directly related to this task. SCP-2846-A had grown more powerful over the years.
So they
larger
wanted
and
an
bolder,
upgrade.
too. He and his men couldn't die, but many more would if they were no longer able to subdue the beast. He needed something from the SCP Foundation. He needed a bigger boat.
Yes. Okay,
Following
that
this
makes sense.
conversation, and seeing the value in allowing Jones and his crew to continue their mission, the Foundation commandeered a newly built Pennsylvania-class super dreadnought battleship from the U.S. Navy, the USS Montana. The ship was sunk 15 kilometers from a Foundation naval facility in Cuba. 30 hours later, the ship surfaced from the sea, though it was now more heavily armed than the USS Montana had been. As part of the
Interesting.
agreement, SCP-2846-B was fitted with an explosive device that is capable of completely destroying the ship should the crew
What?
for some reason ever turn their guns on Foundation or other human targets. In 2013, an important discovery was made after a tracker was attached to SCP-2846-A. Deep in the Atlantic, roughly 1,300 nautical miles west of Florida, a depression in the ocean floor with a large iron object on top of it was found. 2846 seems to return to this site over and over, where it has been observed clearing the rocks from the area.
That has to be
And
the
it appears
opening.
that it is almost finished with its task.
Oh,
the iron plate on top
no.
of the depression is nearly exposed.
That has to be a
It's
door.
not known exactly what's underneath.
I
but
know what's
whatever it
underneath.
is, it's hot. Very hot, with temperatures near it measured at over 4,000 degrees Celsius.
That's pretty
It's
hot.
feared that whatever the creature is trying to unearth, it would lead to an XK end-of-the-world scenario, and it is imperative that it not be allowed to do so.
Got it. Okay, so we got to
And
put some
there's
rocks
more
on
bad
top of
news
it.
when it comes to SCP-2846.
There's more?
In 2014, the Foundation ship SCPS Pristine was pursuing a large underwater organism assumed to be SCP-2846-A.
Wait,
and
was it
signaled
not?
to 2846-B to surface and dispatch the creature in what had become the normal operating procedure. Something strange happened, though, and the Pristine was suddenly struck by a mysterious force. As
What?
SCP-2846-B began to engage with the now surfaced 2846-A, The crew of the Pristine reported seeing numerous eyes appearing and disappearing in the water below the ship. They had never seen anything like it.
That has
The
to
ship
be
was
another
struck
SCP.
again as satellite images spotted an enormous entity directly beneath the ship.
What is
The Pristine
that?
began taking on water, and the crew was forced to abandon ship. 2 other SCP ships in the area fired on the strange, many-eyed entity, causing it to once again disappear into the depths of the ocean.
Dude, the ocean is
as
so creepy.
SCP-2846-B banished 2846-A to the ocean once again.
Another giant Leviathan
Due to
creature
the ongoing
definitely
danger of
somehow escaped.
SCP-2846-A, it has been classified as Keter.
Yeah.
In the event of an appearance, Mobile Task Force Tau 11, also known as the Can Openers, who are stationed aboard the SCPS Nikolai, are to utilize a special transmission device to signal the crew of SCP-2846-B and maintain contact with them throughout their engagement with the creature. Tau 11's primary mission is to minimize civilian exposure to the anomaly, and any non-Foundation ships that come in contact with either 2846 entity are to be moved from the area, and all aboard the craft are to be given Class C amnestics. The SCPS Nikolai's captain has been given permission to fire on SCP-2846-A to assist in the fight, and
That's
should
good.
2846-B turn hostile for any reason, the explosive device on board is to be detonated. It is still unknown just what the entity that attacked and destroyed the SCPS Pristine was.
Yeah, I don't think
but
that
the
I
ease with
want
which
to
it
know.
dispensed of the vessel has many in the Foundation worried that SCP-2846-A has already been able to release one of its brethren from its prison.
That's what it
And at
seems
this
like.
point, stopping them may no longer be an option.
Ooh, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that was another absolute banger from Dr. Bob about one of the scariest SCPs that I've ever heard about.